I walk through neon lights, they're flashing, echoes of a distant longing, shadows dancing on the skyline. My heart beats a pulsing sign. With every step I'm lost in you, falling into this blue view. Feel your whispers soft and haunting, merging with the space we're sharing, holding on to dreams we're weaving. In this moment, time's deceiving. Cityscape and endless rhythm, voices follow quietly strong. Your touch a spark ignites the night. Melodies weave through our flight. The sky above holds our secrets. Tangled in this dreamlike sequence. Feel your whispers soft and haunting, merging with the space we're sharing, holding on to dreams we're weaving. In this moment, time's deceiving. Beneath the stars, our world is turning. In your gaze, the universe is burning. Wrapped in silence, every yearning. In your light, desires churning. Feel your whispers soft and haunting, merging with the space we're sharing, holding on to dreams we're weaving. In this moment, time's deceiving.
All right, you art supply junkies, you stationery hoarders, this one's for us, right? Because let's be honest, is there anything more satisfying than cracking open a brand new set of art supplies?
Especially when it's something as comprehensive as what we're looking at today.
Oh, yeah. Today we are diving headfirst into the wild world of art sets, specifically this Color 192-piece deluxe art set. And just wow, 192 pieces.
That's a bold statement right off the bat.
It really is, and it begs the question, can one set really be the holy grail for everyone, from your weekend doodler to a seasoned pro? Like, is it realistic?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean,
Right.
I think about my own studio, and it's like, sure, you can have every tool under the sun, but are those what's really going to spark creativity?
That's a really good point. So let's dissect the Color set, see what makes it tick. It promises to be this all-in-one solution for artists of, well, apparently all levels. They even go as far as calling it ideal for beginners, A&D, experienced artists. Ambitious.
It is, and this is where things get really interesting, because catering to both ends of the spectrum, that's a tough needle to thread.
Absolutely. But hey, for now, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They also seem pretty proud of their deluxe wooden case, and I have to admit, that's what initially caught my eye, too.
Understandable. A good case is not just about aesthetics, though. It's the foundation for good organization. And trust me, a well-organized art space is a happy art space.
Preach. There's nothing worse than having that creative lightning strike only to find your favorite brush is MIA in the bottom of a drawer somewhere. Okay, so digging into the actual art supplies here, the Color set boasts both acrylic and watercolor paints. And we're not talking a measly few tubes here, 24 colors for each, plus they even throw in 3 canvases. They want you painting right out of the gate.
And I see why they've included both acrylics and watercolors. Talk about covering your bases. You've got your acrylics, love them, vibrant, forgiving, layer like a dream. Then you have watercolors with their unique transparency, perfect for capturing light and atmosphere. I mean, just thinking about those possibilities gets me excited.
Me too. And I think having both really speaks to that beginner to expert idea, right? Like, you can start with the more forgiving nature of acrylics, then graduate to the subtle nuances of watercolors as your skills develop. What do you think?
Absolutely. And for more experienced artists, it's like having both on hand lets you follow those creative whims wherever they lead.
Exactly. And speaking of variety, the drawing tools aren't messing around either. We've got crayons, colored pencils, oil pastels, sketching pencils. It's like a buffet of dry media. But, and this is where I was really impressed, they didn't just stop at throwing in a million different mediums. They actually include 3 different paper pads, an acrylic pad with that nice toothy texture, a watercolor pad designed to handle those watery washes, and a classic sketchbook.
Okay, now that's impressive. That shows an understanding of how different media interact with the surface. It's all well and good having all these paints and pencils, but without the right paper, you're really limiting yourself.
For real, imagine trying to lay down a delicate watercolor wash on that textured acrylic paper disaster waiting to happen. I'm curious, though, what's your go-to paper?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's like picking a favorite child. But if I had to choose, I think that smooth, crisp feeling of a fresh sheet of watercolor paper just begging for some pigment, that's hard to beat.
I feel you. There's something so therapeutic about it. Okay, but before we get too lost in the paper aisle, let's talk about the, shall we say, bonus items in the set. We've got sandpaper, a color wheel, essential of course, but sandpaper, and then somewhat randomly, a single HB and 2B pencil. Enough.
All right, hear me out on the sandpaper. At first glance, yeah, it seems a little out of place, but think about it. You can use it to refine edges, create interesting textures on your drawings, even blend colored pencils. It's a multitasker.
Okay, I'm willing to concede the sandpaper point. It's actually pretty clever.
Right. And as for the limited pencil selection, well, sometimes less is more. You've got your trusty HB for sketching, your slightly softer 2B for richer darks. It's like they're encouraging you to master the basics before diving into the entire spectrum of graphite.
That's a really good point. It's about laying that foundation, understanding the fundamentals. It's like they're subtly guiding you on this creative journey.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting about this set. It's not just a random assortment of supplies. There's a thoughtfulness to it, from the case right down to those little extras.
They really do seem to have covered all their bases, that's for sure. But, and I think this is the question we always need to ask with these all-in-one sets, does it encourage exploration beyond its boundaries, or does it risk becoming a gilded cage for creativity?
Now that is the thought to ponder on. Because at the end of the day, the tools are only as good as the artist wielding them, right?